Well, it's the home opener for the Guardians.
Yeah.
But Shane Bieber will not be on the mound for the Cleveland Guardians.
How
do you compare the excitement we should have about this team being 7-2 to this point in the season, surpassing every expectation, but also knowing their ace, their Cy Young candidate, will not be with them for the rest of the season?
Well, let's hear we haven't heard much from Earl so far, so let's hear from Earl first. Earl, how do you balance the excitement of opening day, the excitement of 7-2, with Shane Bieber out for the year?
I'm still excited for opening day. I think Shane Bieber being out for the year sucks, but the season is so fresh that it don't put a damper on everything for me. You know, they got off to a hot start, 7-2. The team is hitting, and, you know, the pitching rotation, it hasn't been as dominant as we used to, but it's been good enough for us to get wins. How I look at it is, nice throw, Ant. How I look at it as, you know, injuries happen in sports, right? And I think that there's enough arms in that rotation that can be solid if they step up their performance. But as long as the Guardians keep having success, I think it won't change anything for me. I just think I look at it like, okay, we're less than 10 games in. Yeah, it sucks he got hurt, but the season is so fresh that it don't put a damper on anything. Like, players get hurt all the time, so we just got to keep the train moving.
Gee.
You know, for me, when I was on the radio when the news broke, and I just remember being super sad for Shane Bieber because I know what it is he's put a lot of work in, right? And he's, you know, won a Cy Young before. It's the highest level that you reach in your career. And, you know, he's not going to be able to recoup the benefits or to get to a place monetarily where he should be at. And so that's why, you know, sometimes when I talk about money and I get frustrated when people say, oh, you're not worth this or you're not worth that or we'll just trade him or do this. I'm like, listen, man, these people put so much time and energy and effort into the game and he was pitching so well and it looked like he was going to, at least if he wasn't going to be here, at least he was going to be able to recoup and get a big payday somewhere else. And for him not to be able to finish the year and to pitch so well in the beginning and then get injured, have to have Tommy John surgery, and you know, I know what it feels like to, you know, just have to stay, you know, for him it's starting all over. Like, you know, there's no guarantee that he's going to be back to where he was. There's no guarantee he's going to ever pitch again. And so for me, it puts a little bit of a damper because I would have liked to see you know, Shane Bieber, a good guy, be able to take care of his family. It's not like he's poor or anything, but, you know, you just never know when you go out there. And then my thought goes to Triston McKenzie. And I'm like, man, like, should he have had the surgery? Should have Shane Bieber have had the surgery? Like just to get it over with, and they would have probably been on the mend. Some of those things that go through my head is just because I've been through it before, and it just brings up those feelings because I just been there before. So that sucks. But in terms of the whole overall feel, I'm still excited about you know, the Guardians 7-2, and that's the cool thing about baseball is this. It ain't like basketball, right? It ain't like football. You know when you're not about to do nothing in basketball or football. It's evident. Like you come into the season and you know we ain't got a quarterback. It's a wrap. Basketball. Hey, you come into the season. Hey, we just drafted a rookie. We don't got a franchise player. It's about to be a long season. Baseball ain't like that. Baseball is like, okay, let me see what you're doing. Guys can have a year. Guys can get out and get hard. You can get out and get, start the bats early. You can come in and guys are pleasant surprises in terms of your pitching rotation, especially get some good pitching. And you could carry over energy. Like by the time April is over, you could go into May and be like, this team's just different. So I still got a lot of enthusiasm for the Guardians 7-2. They did a good job on the away trip. And Stephen Vogt's young. I want to see what he's doing. I like how he's doing things different. I think everybody is still excited about a Bull.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it best. That baseball, one injury doesn't crush you in baseball like it does in the other sports. Because the quarterback is so much more important than anybody else in football. And the superstar is so much more important than everything else in basketball. Right? Without LeBron James, the Lakers are one of the 5 worst teams in basketball. And they still have another great player.
Right.
They'd be awful. Even now. Right? You look at the Celtics. They lose Jason Tatum, their season's probably over.
Chalk it up.
Right? But that's just not the case in baseball. In fact, and obviously I'm not trying to say this team's as good because it's not, but in 2016, outside of Corey Kluber, the Guardians' entire starting rotation was hurt in the playoffs. On paper, not only did they have no business winning the World Series, they had no business winning any round of the playoffs. But you don't win games on paper. That's the great thing.
And they rode a hot pitcher. Andrew Miller became the greatest pitcher in the history of the game for like 3 weeks.
Right. He and Kluber were unhittable.
Couldn't hit him.
And it didn't even matter. They had nobody else besides those two guys, really. And that's the thing. So is there a replacement for Shane Bieber? No. There's no legitimate replacement for Shane Bieber. We'll talk about some of the veteran options, but there are no good ones. There's zero. All the Guardians' best prospects at pitcher are either on the team, hurt, or so early in their career that they can't help a major league team yet. There is no Gavin Williams, Logan Allen, Tanner Bybee ready to come to the big leagues. None. That guy doesn't exist for the Guardians. And we'll talk more about that later. But this does not spoil opening day for me because, as you said, Earl, everybody's got injuries. Pitching injuries in baseball are through the roof. The Braves just lost their best starter, Spencer Strider. He's the best pitcher in baseball. Now, they haven't said he's out for the year yet, but he's got an elbow issue, and they're shutting him down. So the odds are he'll end up missing the season. Even if he doesn't, he's going to miss 3 months. Garrett Cole, the second best pitcher in baseball, he's missing at least the first 2 months of the season, and we'll see. He's got an elbow issue, too. They're hoping to have him back in June, but good luck with that. So there's excellent pitchers all over baseball. Now, I get it. The Braves and the Yankees are deeper teams than the Guardians. They have bigger payrolls. They're better teams on paper. But the good thing for the Guardians is they don't have to compete in their divisions with those teams. They're competing with a Royals team that is better but flawed. They're competing with a White Sox team that's going to be one of the worst in baseball. They're competing with a nice young Tiger team that'll probably be with them for much of the season, and a Twins team that's fine, but they got their own injuries. They lost their best young hitter, Royce Lewis. He's going to be out for, I think, at least 2 months. And so, no, it's not going to spoil the excitement we've had all weekend in Cleveland from the women's tournament, which we'll talk about later, and what it's going to be like. It's supposed to be a gorgeous day. We're used to crappy weather on opening day.
Yeah.
Today's supposed to be gorgeous. It's supposed to be 70 degrees, partly sunny. It's going to be a perfect day, and nothing could spoil that. It would be even better if Triston McKenzie looked like himself today and pitched a great game. He's going to, because the game got rained out yesterday, you'll have McKenzie, and because of the rain out, everybody got pushed back, so you won't need another starter till next weekend or so.
Think about it. How important now is Carlos Carrasco?
Yeah, for them. Yeah, he only gave him 3 innings the other day, but yeah, he's going to have to give him some innings.
Going now. It's like, okay, well, now before it was just like, okay, well, you just hanging around.
Yeah.
Gavin Williams comes back. You know, we'll figure it. But now, he's going to be a pivotal part of what the rotation is.
Either him or someone else that we're not thinking about right now. And this hot start that they're off to offensively, they've got to continue it. They've got to be, without Bieber, their starting pitching is not going to be as good as we thought. There's no way around it. So the hitting's got to be even better.
I like that. I tell you what, I'm trying to wait. I ain't want to be the Duke and knee jerk. But I like the Rocio Jimenez defensively. I like him. I don't know if
it could be really special.
It could. Like who was Lindor and who was the second baseman when Lindor was playing? Kipnis, and that was okay. Lindor was a Gold Glover.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say it's Vizquel and Omar, Vizquel and Alomar.
Oh, Alomar. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say this that, but I like him. I didn't know Rocio was all right.
You bring up a good point. I think, first of all, Jimenez is already a Platinum Glove winner, which means the best fielder in the entire league. Rocio is special defensively. Yeah. For those who may have seen the game on Saturday, they made a couple of amazing. The Twins only had 2 hits in that game on Saturday, but they had 1 million base runners because there was a lot of walks and there was a couple of hit by pitches.
That glove toss he had.
You see that backwards?
I was like, I didn't know you had it like that.
Mike, do we?
Say it again?
We don't have that clip, do we?
We showed the one on Friday of the backhanded dive.
If you haven't seen it, what G was just talking about, Jimenez, it's first and second, nobody out.
Yeah.
So the Twins were threatening. It was a close game. There was a ground ball up the middle. Jimenez gets it. He's facing center field, and he flipped it backwards to Rocio, who has to dive, keep his foot on the base,
kept the foot on the bag.
Did it.
That was crazy.
Like that had to be like a 1% chance of getting an.
I did not know. Listen,
Yeah.
it is funny because Rocchio his name was always mentioned as one of the prospects, but I'm like, do he play? But they kept putting Arias out there, so I'm like, well, maybe they don't like him like that. I'm like, this guy right here, his glove work is. Listen, Ahmed Rosario was what's the name?
Ahmed Rosario.
Yeah, you got it. Ahmed Rosario. He was decent. He was.
Yeah, but he wasn't this guy.
He was a regular run-of-the-mill guy. He'll make the routine play, but this man, he's special.
Yeah. I thought it when they first showed it. I thought he was safe.
I did
was
too.
like, there's no way he kept his foot on the bag.
Because I was like,
right?
And then he stretched it out.
Yeah.
And here it is. Look at this.
Oh, nice.
Look at this.
Look at this.
That's
Backward
crazy.
flip. Are you kidding me?
With the stretch. He stretched it laying down.
I mean, that is insane. Look at that. And to keep his foot on the base.
That's crazy.
I was like, there's no way he's keeping his foot on the base. And then he got spiked. He got spiked. He took a spike right in his foot.
Look at it. First of all,
I mean, that's absurd.
That's stupid. Dang.
They don't make that play. The Twins are going to score in that inning.
I mean,
that's just the odds of making that play.
Hey, we can get behind that.
Are just slim.
I
Go
get
ahead,
behind
Mike.
that.
Yeah, no, that is truly an incredible play. And before we talk about potential replacements for Shane Bieber, because the Guardians have to do something to their rotation, a quick reminder that every